My dear and lovely Geminis, this is your horoscope for November 2024. And November welcomes us with new moon on 1st November in your house of health and daily activities. New moon will be at 9 degrees, meaning those of you who are born towards end of May, around 30th of May, will be affected the most. New moon will be supported by Saturn. This is amazing support. Saturn will send trine, aspect to this new moon. Now, Saturn is the planet of work, responsibilities, discipline. Now, when Saturn supports that new moon, meaning something new is starting in your life, and Saturn gives solid ground, whatever you're gonna start around beginning of November, it will stay for a long time. But of course, it will also require some hard work, discipline, and responsibilities. Now, Saturn will be exactly in your house of career, and new moon is appearing in your house of work. Something around your work, you're gonna shine, my dear Geminis, around this new moon. Your efforts, your hard work is gonna pay off now because Saturn is in the 10th house of career. It might be that finally your manager and VIPs at your work will notice you, and actually it might be some promotion happening around this new moon or totally new job offer. If you've been in a search, this new moon has the power to bring a new job position somewhere else, in another company or within your company, some sort of a promotion that will give a big star to your name, my dear Geminis. Congratulations on that. Or if you're going to start some new project there, that new project will stay for a long, long time. But remember that it will require some hard work and dedication because Saturn is the planet, it's a slow planet and it always requires us to do work step by step. It's not fast success. It's more of a daily small wins. And at the end of those, years of hard work, Saturn usually brings a huge deserved surprise. Now, Saturn as a natural, actually ruler of your eighth house, whatever you're starting, it seems like financially you are capable to start those things and financially you're covered, meaning banks will be willing to assist you with your new job or new project or new business and any other financial institutions. And if you've been trying to search for a business partner, then it will be also easy for you to find. But that business partner will be sort of this Saturn kind of a, character. Yeah, he or she might be much older than you, much wiser, and like with a lot of experience, and of course, demanding one. Now, that is amazing. Now, for the most of the month, we have Pluto opposing Mars. Now, these two will not be in a good contact with each other, a bit making gray our November, but exact aspect between these two will happen 3rd of November. So avoid 3rd of November for any kinds of activities, like signing papers, meeting someone, even for love. It's not a good time at all. But this aspect will be strong whole November and few days of December. But most strongest it will be on 3rd November. So try to avoid 3rd November. Now, Pluto is the karmic planet. It's the planet of transformation, subtle transformations. Will be in your 8th house, house of psychological mind, your subconscious mind, and opposing Mars, which will be in your 2nd house of self-value, self-worth. There is Pluto in your 8th house. It was occupying your 8th house for the last 15 years, giving you deep and subtle transformations on your topics of family budget, what is to have, what is to be in a shared resources, and what does it mean to share actually with your husband, with your wife, or with your business partners. And also 8th house is such a mystical house. It's all about psychology, it's all about esoterics, and here it was giving you deep transformations. Some of you might have, gotten involved into those esoteric topics like astrology, numerology for the last 15 years. And Pluto, exactly in November, will finally leave, into your 9th house, but we will talk about it a bit later. That's a huge transformation and transit of the month. I will make a separate video on that, so stay tuned. Now, Pluto in the eighth house is also a financial house. As I said about shared budget, like it's a money that comes to you through other people or through other financial institutions or government or banks. And Mars is occupying your another financial house, which is earning income house. Now, Pluto and opposing Mars here might give you some sort of attention, depending on what is your situation, but it might involve actually money, especially where you're spending your money, with whom you're sharing your money, what it needs to be covered from your side. These topics might be quite active during November. Or you might also might be wanting to spend some money on your health situation, but at the same time you will be thinking if that worth it or not, like to spend money on that or this operation or procedure. It doesn't matter if it's a plastic surgery or something related to physical well-being. Whatever is that, it seems like your mind, because of this opposition between these two, will be revolving around money, well-being, and self-worth. Now, there will be a bunch of other planets who will try to save those two and they will try to mediate between those two. Now, Neptune, Uranus, and also Mercury. Now, these three will try to help this Pluto and Mars to resolve their opposition. They will sort of subtly will try to tell you, listen to your intuition regarding your social status, regarding your influence, regarding your reputation, how you can influence in a subtle way more, and to listen to yourself actually in what kind of situations you are capable of influencing and what kind of situation you're not, and where is that power within you that you can actually resolve the whole issue there. 4th November, we have Mars moving into your third house. Now, this one of the biggest transits happening in November. In general, November will be action-packed planet, planetary action also, of course, which will translate into our lives too. You will feel the shift, of topics, shift of energy of lives. Now, Mars moving into your third house for the next 2 months might indicate quite a lot of communication there, because third house is a communication house and Mars is a let's go get it planet. Sort of it's an action planet. It's our desire, it's our passion, and it will be in your third house for the next 2 months until it goes retrograde in December. So whatever deals or agreements you have to sign, I suggest you to sign it in November, because Mars will go retrograde, meaning moving backwards, slowing down in December, giving all those people and other counterparties that you will be entering into agreement with sort of hesitation and unpredictableness and all the stuff, because when Mars slows down, everything and everyone feels so slow. Now, because Mars is in your third house in November, do all those paper signings exactly in November. Better to do it before December, even before like holiday season kicks in. Now, third house is also house of siblings. If you have siblings, or also it's about our relatives and neighbors with whom we communicate daily. This is our inner circle people. And Mars here might give you quite a lot of communication with those people, or being busy with them, or they might be visiting you, and they might stay actually for a long time, or they might like one by one visit you, or you might actually travel and see them, like your siblings, your relatives, or someone who you talk very close. Now, Mars in the third house is also about courage. It's amazing. Third house is all our bravery house. And it seems like you might finally have that courage to start something if you've been longing to do so for a long time, like to go to Pilates or to do the gym or whatever is that, actually, to take up some learning courses, some classes, and you've been hesitant or whatever, for whatever reason, like lazy, procrastinating, whatever. No, Mars will give you that power to finally go and do it. and it's amazing time to actually study, because third house is all those short trainings, courses. You might actually learn something new during Mars's transit in your third house. Also, it's about driving. You might go for driving courses if you've never done so, or start driving a car actually. Or it might be also a transportation, quite a lot of driving here happening. Now, third house is also short distance travels. For the next 2 months, it might be that you will need to travel quite a lot to short distances, like under 2 hours maximum, like by car, somewhere like driving, coming back and forth, something like this might happen during whole November and December. But December, Mars slows down, so there you might actually get a bit of a rest still, but still you will be getting some sort of a travel plans, quite a lot around this time. Now, November 11th, we have amazing, lovely Venus, planet of beauty and love, moving into your 8th house. Now, Venus is also a planet of money, but it's a small money, but still moving into your money house. Now, 8th house is all about other people's money that come into your life. Seems like you might be receiving some sort of gifts around this time, while Venus will be in your 8th house after like November 11th, or you might be getting some sort of invitations. And also it's all about funding. If you've been waiting for some like alimony or whatever money there, like as a help from somewhere or from someone, like a government or ex-husband, ex-wife, or financial institutions, that money is coming after November 11 when Venus hits your 8th house, my dear Geminis. Now, November 15 will be big day because we have big 2 transits happening on that day. Saturn, planet of hard work and responsibilities, moving direct. It was retrograde since 29th of June, so almost half a year, giving you a retrospective sort of mood in your 10th house, in your house of career, sort of what to do with your life, where you headed, what are your achievements, and what you want to achieve actually. This kind of topics might have been as a background sort of noise in your head, like inside of your head, like mentally, because when heavy planets they retrograde, it's not like something happening like directly in your daily life, but it's more on our subconscious level, on our mental level, like a background noise. It gives us some sort of spiritual growth. It gives us this period when we think deeply about some things, like constantly. Might be time to time like popping up in your mind. So Saturn was giving you this kind of vibe since end of June when it was retrograding. Now it's going direct, meaning in a direct motion, finally full force in your 10th house. Now, 10th house is all about career. When Saturn goes direct after 15th of November, you might start actually taking up some sort of steps towards those goals that you've been thinking a lot recently. What to do with your life, and what is your like achievements, and where you want to be, let's say for the next year or for in the next 5 years, for example. And you might be taking up some firm actions when Saturn moves direct in your 10th house, as I said. Now, 10th house is also social status house. If you've been thinking about someone, whether to marry or whether to divorce or whether to make your relationship to the next step since end of June, now this will be the time after second half of November. You will make up your mind. Actually, you might make up your mind and finally decide what to do with this relationship. What is the what is the status of that relationship, and where is your social status there? Like, if you're married or if you're single, all those things, and also about parenthood, if that was your, topic, and thinking a lot if you want to be actually parent or not, and if this is the right time. Now, all these things will clear out when Saturn goes direct after second half of November. Now, 15th of November, there is another huge thing happening. There is full moon. Now, full moons are all about conclusion to the situation that is already in your life, but this full moon will have a surprise effect because full moon will conjunct in a very tight conjunction, meaning together, uniting forces with Uranus. Now, Uranus is the planet of surprises and shock. Now Uranus, this full moon and Uranus together, they will be in your 12th house. Now 12th house is all about subconscious mind. It's all things private. So take good care that your secrets won't come out around this full moon, because there is a big possibility, huge possibility, which will be shocking to you, because here's Uranus at play, right? So, make sure that your secrets are secret still, because full moons usually also they act in a way as a big sort of light, and it's happening in your house of secrets, 12th house, and whatever is happening behind the doors. Now that full moon will happen at 24 degrees, meaning those of you who are born around 14th of June will be affected the most. Now another two planets will support that full moon. So anyhow, I think whatever will surprising and shocking will come into your life, it will be positively shocking. Now Neptune and Pluto will support that full moon together with Uranus. And Neptune and Pluto, they are also karmic planets, like such a strong full moon here, because we have all the sort of karmic slow planets playing out, and it seems like whatever will be happening there, you won't have a word to say or change something. It will just be as surprising, as it can be, but it might be actually a positive surprise to you, my dear Geminis. Now 12th house is also about long distance travel, like immigrating somewhere. You might actually travel somewhere very, very far, and that will be a surprise actually travel. Or 12th house is also retreats, like to go rest somewhere or to meditate, because 12th house all those things that we do alone, like that we do in solitude. And 12th house is also house of health, and Pluto that is supporting that full moon will be in another your house of health. It seems like for some Geminis it might be around your well-being, and this full moon has the power to show you something around your health situation that you haven't known, because Uranus is here. It's a surprise thing, and it might be sort of a shocking news there, but I'm sure it will be positive, because all the planets are supportive of this full moon, my dear Gemini. So there is nothing to worry about, but there is certainly something that you need to know about your health situation for some of you guys. But it's because it's a full moon, it's a sort of a conclusion there, so it seems like if you had some sort of issue with your health, then to your big surprise it will be resolved. Actually, you might get amazing news here around this full moon. Now 19th of November we have Pluto moving into your 9th house. This is one of the biggest chances of our century, not even of this month, because Pluto, it's changing signs, and for the last 15 years or 16 or so, it was in your 8th house, and for the next 20 years, it will occupy your 9th house, transforming it unrecognizably. Now, Pluto in the 9th house, might give you quite a lot of thoughts around during the next 20 years. You might be pondering a lot about what is the life purpose. What is your life purpose, actually? And 9th house is a house of broadening mind. So Pluto here will give you deep, deep lessons of the laws of our universe and laws of our life. And after 20 years, you won't be even seeing this life as you used to do. Now, Pluto in the 9th house, it's also about education, might be, and those of you who will take up some educational like degrees or start to study, those studies seems like might finish up only around, it might take actually you whole this 20 years or even 10 years. So it's pretty much a big chunk of your life you might dedicate to some sort of a topic or research of like some sort of area of your life, where you will spend quite a lot of energy, mental energy, like studying a lot, researching a lot, because 9th house is all about that. Or if you start writing a book also, that would be actually so meditative and amazing practice, because it seems like you will be writing that book that long period of time, and it will be so insightful experience, and for you and for others. because Pluto here might give you deeply transformative thoughts about your own life and the purpose of your life. Now, November 26th, we have Mercury, your ruler, my dear Geminis, going retrograde for the third time, of course, in your house of long term partnerships in love and in business. Now, Mercury is all about communication, is all about, sharp things like whatever we need to speak or to write, to read, we need our sharp mind for that. So, Mercury rules that. And Mercury also rules commerce. Now, happening retrograde in your, seventh house, meaning slowing down. It's not so much good for commerce here, for trade. So I would advise you to postpone all the shopping or all the stuff after 26th of November. I know that it might not be possible because there is like a holiday season, but just take a good care, double check or triple check of what you're buying, what kind of price, because there is a huge indication that you might actually find something else which is much cheaper and much better after you bought something that you thought you like. And seventh house is also house of long-term partners in love too. Your exes might knock on your door quite a lot, text you, try to find you, try to communicate with you. Here I would also suggest you to pause, not to get involved back with your exes all of a sudden, because when Mercury goes direct after its retrograde, you might all of a sudden remember why you actually broke up in the first place with that person. So I would suggest you to pause and wait while Mercury is going backwards during that period. Now, this was your horoscope for November. Stay tuned for December and always check your rising sign and moon sign, because most of the time our rising sign is much stronger, and you will have the power actually to compare which one is playing out in your life much stronger, your rising, your moon, or your sun sign. For some people, it might be even the moon. It depends on the time you were born, so I advise you to check all those three, so you will decide which one actually affecting you the strongest now, my dear Geminis. Love you all. Bye bye.